controlling the costs of your business and your life. How important this is. I believe that you have two forces when it comes to business and when it comes to your personal life too. Two forces. Force one, how much you make, either in your business and in your personal life. And the other one, how much you are going to spend. There are people who believe that, for example, I have a friend that believes that the main thing that you need to control is how much you make. And as long as you make a lot of money, you can spend the way that you want, you know. But I believe that things are not simple as that. At least in my case, I try to make the more that I can. I always try to make more money. You need to understand that. But one other thing was this. It's very important for you to spend less because each dollar that you avoid to spend, it's going to be a dollar that you are going to save. We need to understand this very clearly because the way that you control how much you are going to make is not infinite. You are able to control it, yes, but to a certain degree. You know, you are not able to control in a degree that you are going to be able to make infinite money or huge amounts of money. But let's say that you are, yes, able to control it in a certain way until to a certain limit. Obviously, there are exceptions. There are people who are able to make an incredible amount of money, but these are exceptions to the rule. I'm trying to keep things here in the in a way that most of people are, and in this way that I am. So it's very important to realize that we need to do both things. You need to control how much you make and how much you spend because people, um, most of us, it's easier for us to control how much we make. We have the tendency, the natural tendency, to do the best that we can to make more money. And in general, we make good decisions in that matter. It's more automatic. But to control how much you spend is not as easy as to control how much you make. And in that regard, we have another thing that is even worse, which is this. Um, to control, if you don't control how much you spend, you can spend much more than you make. And you can damage your life very deeply. Because, especially in today's society, with credit and everything, at the beginning, you have no limits. You can spend everything that you want to spend. So you need to control that. You know, let's say something here, because the amount that you save now is going to be, if you apply that rule that I always tell you guys, which is the most important thing is um, time. The second most important thing is the amount that you invest per month. So, why is important to control that in your business? Because the money that you are going to save in your business, or um, let's say that here we are talking about business, but uh, if you work for other people, if you are an employee, let's say that you are going to keep these things to your personal life. But if you work for yourself, the amount that you are going to save in your business, probably it's going to be the amount that it's going to be saved for you to take for yourself to have. So, for example, my case, I work with construction. So, I need to manage to put together the best construction possible for a reasonable amount. I'm not going to say that I'm going to put together the best construction possible for the smaller amount possible. It's not as simple as that, because if you think this way, you may start to do crazy things, imagining crazy things. So, in my case, I need to put together the best construction for a reasonable amount, because then I'll be able to sell it for a good price. Uh, it's going to be considered a construction that's going to be considered normal in the market that I am involved. All right, all of these we need to take in consideration. But let's take this to your personal life, because this is the most dangerous part. Because in your business, it's easy to realize if you are making money or not. And as soon as you understand that you are making money, then the business is profitable and healthy. But you are not going to be able to keep a business that doesn't make money for a long period of time. But in your personal life, if you do not control your costs, you can spend everything that you make. And nobody is going to tell you anything about that. Because think about this, in your personal life, you don't need to have a profit. You don't need to save anything. You are not obligated to save anything. You can expend everything that you make. And even worse, you can expend more than you make because you can get in debt. That's the truth. So, what you need to do, what you should do, you should save the more that you can, the most that you can. You know something? This money that you are going to save now is the money that you are going that is going to protect you in the future. You know, because uh, this money, it is going to compound. It's going to be influenced by the compound interest through time, through the years, and then in the future, what is going to happen is that you are going to be protected. You are going to have money to live a better life. But when we say that, we need to think this thing here very carefully. Because here is what I want to say. You need to be able to live a good life now and save at the same time. There is a misunderstanding. There is this misunderstanding in our society today. And the misunderstanding is this: people that are savers do not live a good life. Think about that. And this is simply not true. I believe that this happens because of the beginning of the process. In the beginning of the process of saving, you are going to face difficulties. You are going to be in a hard position. In many occasions, you have to pay debt. You need to to be in the zero ground at first. You need to put things in zero first. What does that mean? Means this: if you are in debt, you are not in zero. If you pick the entire wealth that you have, let's say that you are in this situation here, that you doesn't have anything in your portfolio, have around 1,000 in debt, and make 100,000 per year. What does that mean? You make a good salary? Yes. You make good money? Yes. But you are in debt. So you are negative. You are negative. That is your situation. So you need bring things to zero first. What does that mean? Pay your entire debt. Pay everything. You need to do that. And I believe that that's why we have this feeling in the society, this belief that people who are savers live worse lives. I believe that because of that. Because at the beginning, you are going to face difficulties because you have to pay your debt. Now, think about this. You are passing through the process, you pay your every debt that you have, and then you start to save. As soon as you start to save, your situation starts to be better. Because let's say that you save only $1,000, $1,000, and let's say that you need money all of a sudden. My friend, you have $1,000 saved. You understand? What is more comfortable? Having $1,000 or don't? What is more comfortable? Now, imagine, what is more comfortable? Having 100,000 or do not having 100,000? What is more comfortable? Having $1 million or not having? You understand that? So, it's something very simple and easy to understand that if you have money saved, you are in a better position. Let's say that you have 100,000 and $150,000 and you are going to take a trip. You need to take a trip, you want to go on vacation. And then you realize that this vacation is going to take $10,000. You have to make a decision, and it's a very comfortable one. It's not going to put everything on credit cards. None of that. You can save and go into the trip after you have saved the 10,000, or you can take out of your savings and simply do the trip, go into the trip. You can do that at any moment of your life because the money is yours. You do not have to give to anyone explanations. You can do it. You know, you can do it. You need to think that. So, to control your costs, you need to realize all of that. Because one thing that I am really understanding after starting this channel here, because by starting this channel, I am more in contact with my own ideas too, because I'm talking to you, but at the same time, I'm talking to me here. And I need to agree and understand and acknowledge everything that I'm saying. So, to control your costs, you need to understand all of that. And why is that? Because as soon as you understand that when you don't have a monthly payment in your car, for example, you can convert that money in savings. Let's say that you are paying 50,000, 50, 100, 500, $500 per month to your car. If you do not have this monthly payment to be paid, you can save this 500. And with time, this money is going to compound in your benefit and it's going to be yours. Sometimes it seems to me that people misunderstand this, that they think that when you save money, you are doing something like if you are throwing money away. It seems to me that people think something like this, that you are just throwing the money away. No, my friend, the money is going to be yours. It's going to be in your account. Most probably, what is going to happen is that you are going to like this process, that you are going to enjoy this process, and because you are enjoying it and because you like it, you are going to save more and more and more. And then you are going to understand that you are going to have more money. And because you have more money, you are going to be able to do more things, the things that you want to do. Oh, I'm not going to have the best car possible, the car that I want right now, but I can have it in the future in my own terms, paying in cash and doing the way that I want. Oh, but it's hard. Welcome, it's hard. No problem. That's life. You know? Especially in Brazil, this is even worse because salaries here are low. So especially for other people, other countries, people that may be watching this video, countries that are more like Brazil, where you make less money, you need to think about that, my friend. You need, you really need to think about that. You need to have your savings, and in order to do that, you need to control your costs. And the key to control your costs is to understand the process, to understand compound interest. As long as you understand that, you are going to be able to save because you are going to understand that this is going to work in your benefit. Instead of paying interest, you are going to receive interest. This is very different. All right, my friends, this is all for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.